All good.
Beautiful people, what's up, man? It's your boy Smith. You hanging out, Smith the Speaker, my YouTube channel. Before we go any further, man, make sure you like, you subscribe, hit that button, man, tap it in. Make sure you share it with your folks. Today, before we even get started, I know you see me with the little, the little Kango sniper. You know what I'm saying? The little button up. You feel me? Because today, we talking bread. We talking the bag. You know what I'm saying? And the young lady you see on the screen next to me is going to give you all the information you need to fortify and sustain, or maybe even get your bag. You know what I'm saying? So generally, when we talking money, or let me get my mic out the way, and you see me doing money, I usually got a bow tie on. But unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a bow tie on today. That's why I did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? So welcome. I hope everybody woke up feeling great today. Positive affirmations, man. We are worthy. We are valuable. We are incomparable. We deserve to be here. You deserve to be here. So welcome to the show, man. I hope what we about to do today is enlightening for you. And maybe, maybe you in a position where, let me say this, maybe you in a position where you just got extra bread laying around. You know what I'm saying? Still don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You got the extra bread, you gonna want to do something with it. So today's the show for you. You know what I'm saying? Before we even get going, the house cleaning, hey, find me. You know where I'm at. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, hit me in the message, hit me in the chat, whatever. If you got a question out there regarding money. And while we here, I just got to take this, man. This young lady, man. I'm telling you, hold on. And she and look. So my player partner Troy, that y'all know, said, Smith, man, I met this young lady. She doing phenomenal work in Oakland town business. You know what I'm saying? You got to meet her. So he linked us up. And I tell you, the first time we talked, and we haven't met in person yet. This is all like virtual online. I'm like, man, the vibe is so authentic. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, let's go. So we've had some conversations, and then I hit her up last minute. So welcome to Smith the Speaker, Stefisha. You know I love you, man. How you feeling this morning? How you living, man? Man, pour into the people, man, about you.
Man, thank you, Smith. I appreciate you and I feel blessed. I feel blessed to have been woken up this morning. I feel blessed to have gone and got my word yesterday
Say
instead of
that.
today, because today I got to, I get to give a word. And I
Whew.
think just for me, I'm focused on starting 2025 now. I think
Okay.
for sometimes like we wait and we kind of like set resolutions and we have like all these big plans that we gonna do when the clock strike midnight, and it's like this magical like Cinderella type click my heels moment, and then like the whole world gonna transform and we just gonna be like perfect, right?
Right.
But
Right.
not really.
That's not
So
how it
for
works.
that's not how it works. Like that's not how it works at all. And I
Right.
think I found out that that magic doesn't really exist in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Very young in life, but then I think once I realized that, and it became an eye opener, I started to truly pay attention to the things that I had control over. So
Outstanding.
when I get the opportunity to just wake up every day and try again, I always think about how can I do the most productive thing at any given moment. There was a mentor that I had named Hector Lamarck, and
Mm-hmm.
he's phenomenal, but he always says do the most productive thing at any given moment. And if you can look at your day hour by hour, and if you're that intentional minute by minute, you can always gauge what the end of your day is going to look like before you even get there, because you could plan it the day before. So for me, it's like we have our plans, and of course, God
Yeah.
has,
Yeah. Yeah.
his
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got free will as people to go
Say
ahead and
that.
put ourselves in the alignment that we need to be in to receive the gifts that have already been placed before us. If you're not in alignment, you are not going to be on the path to get what it is that you're supposed to get. So being in alignment could be your actions, it could be your attitude, it could be your faithfulness, it could be your empathy, your level of understanding, how you pour and give into other people. Like
Mm,
all
mm,
those
mm,
things are a way
mm,
to be in alignment. So for me,
mm.
focused on 2025, focused on the money, focused on the
Yeah.
people, focused on the community and the intersection of it all.
Say that.
So
Say that.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
hold on. Hey, man, look, y'all know me. I'm not really the religious cat, but y'all better put y'all hands together and stomp y'all feet and light a match for what she just said, because there was so many nuggets up in that piece, man. Like, it's about the mindset, you know what I'm saying, and
Yes.
it's about the planning part, like you said. Have I tell young people all the time, a schedule of success. You need it. You cannot be successful if you don't know what success looks like. You got to practice being an entrepreneur. Them soft skills, shaking hands, communicating with people. We do that. I say this to young folks, like, y'all go to practice for football, y'all go to practice for basketball, you
Mm-hmm.
practicing for something. Well, you just can't expect to be successful just out of the blue. You got to practice to be successful. What it look like, what it feel like, what it smell like. You know what I'm saying? How you
Mm.
conduct yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to practice, man. You know what I'm saying? So everything
Yes.
you just said, I'm with it. Thank you
Mm.
for sharing it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get into the nitty gritty. Let's start it off, because again, I want to be mindful. We're already at 9:10. Thank you for your time, folks. If
Mm-hmm.
you tuning in, you know what I'm saying. I want to make sure that I get everybody out of here before 10 a.m. so y'all can go do what you got to do.
Mm.
With that said, sis, I understand and I know you're doing a lot of work around financial literacy.
Yes.
Financial literacy is very vague in the concept of, it sounds like low hanging fruit. Oh, financial literacy, financial literacy. When I talk to
Mm.
young folks, I break it down to the bag. So
Right.
many things in that bag. So many things in
Mm.
that bag. So when you present to young folks and you're talking about financial literacy, how do you how do you how do you generate that energy, and how do you get it? How do you explain it to them in a sense that it makes sense to them when we start talking about the bag of financial literacy?
Well, first of all, I got to meet them where they are. And so, financial literacy, for one, is a mouthful. So, we already reduced that to Finlit, right? So, the first
Mm-hmm.
thing I said to the kids is, hey, man, we finna get lit. They said, huh? I said, we finna get Finlit. And they said, what's that? I said, financial literacy. I said, Finlit is going to be your new math. I said, if
Mm,
I can understand, if I can help you understand, how to count a dollar, you doing math. If I
say
can
that.
help you understand what the close of the stock market was yesterday versus today and what the difference is between those two, that's math. If I can help you walk through your community, if I can help you look at the house that's for sale, and I
Mm-hmm.
can help you look at that sheet and see what the sale price is, and then I
Mm,
can help you go on
mm.
Zillow and see what it was listed at a year ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. I can show you financial literacy through gentrification. There's so many different things that I can teach you and I can show you through Finley, right? So when we talk to the young people about the bag, you want to talk to them about what's inside, outside, and around their bag.
Talk
Because
to
what
me.
happens is everybody's worried about what can I put in my bag? What can I put in my bag? Not realizing that you was born with a bag. Your first bag was your barter bag. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the bartering of gifts. And that's the first lesson that I talk to our kids about. Like, I'm a financial literacy instructor, yes, at the Freedom School proudly. And like, shout out to Dr. C. Dr. Cruz is phenomenal. Like,
Dr.
he,
C, shout out.
Dr. C, shout out to Dr. C and the entire Freedom School staff, because he allowed me to be the inaugural financial literacy instructor, not knowing how the kids would receive it. And our anchor text is a book called How to Turn $100 into $1 million,
Say
written
it
by a
again. Say it
how
again.
to how to turn $100 into $1 million. And the second edition, the new minted edition, on page 135 and 36, got a 2-page personal budget plan just for you.
Come
And
on.
then on
Come on.
138, there's a 1-page business plan. So what I do is I talk to the kids in a way of what's your
Stop,
passion
stop,
and your
stop,
purpose.
sis. Stop. Hold on. I hate you was on a roll and you on fire, but I got to do this.
Come on,
Young
what you got?
folks, no, young folks, if you paying attention, you missed everything in the last 10 seconds. You got an elevator pitch, you about your business, you standing on business, you trying to be successful and practice success. Sis just broke off pages in a book on top of her head. She know what she talking about. When you get into your business, young folks, know what you talk. Don't be umming and ahhing and oh, I don't know, and I just read. No, if you
Mm-mm.
bout that business, you better know every page, every book, every word that's in that book, man. Sis, I love that. Thank you. Good,
Mm.
continue. But I had it because that's
Yeah,
important.
no, absolutely.
Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
No, that don't apologize. Interrupt me anytime because I think sometimes we have so much to give, but it's the other person that's receiving, listening, or around that can help connect the dots for community, right? So stop
Mm-hmm.
me anytime. Stop me
It's all good.
anytime. Speaking of that, shout out to Barbara Howard. She connect the dots in my classroom for me. I
Shout
love her to
out,
death.
Barbara. Shout
Sister
out, Doc.
BH, man. But
Go
when it
ahead. Go
comes
ahead.
to, the Finlit and what we teach our students, I'll just say this. My foundation was very different. My parents were very structured, very intentional. However, money
Mm,
was not a common conversation in my household. I never knew that we had somewhat of a struggle, but I always knew that my mom worked two jobs. So
got
I
you.
never fell short, but I always saw my mom go to work overnight at the juvenile hall, get off in the morning at 6 a.m., come take a nap while I'm making breakfast for me and my sister. And then she
Mm,
get up and call my godmom to come pick us up. And then she scurry off to her second job while my dad go to his job. And then my godmom got us all throughout the day, taking us to school, picking us up, so on and so forth, right?
right, right.
So in terms of financial education, that's where I first learned how to go get the bag. And then when I got older, I realized that my mom taught me how to be diligent. She taught me how to be persistent. She taught me how to be a woman of my word. But the one lesson that we forgot was that we can't hustle harder for somebody, right? Than we hustle for ourselves.
Say
Because
that.
when you hustle harder for somebody than you willing to hustle for yourself, you're going to always be a slave to the system. That's just how it goes.
Mm,
And
mm,
so for me, it's like, how do I leverage my time, my talent, my passions, and my purpose to be able to put value back into the world so that I can increase my value in the marketplace so my bartering skills are worth more than $1 million. If
mm-hmm,
I can show up and I can teach you the game of basketball. And
mm-hmm.
naturally you would pay somebody to do that, right? But I
True,
say, "Hey,
true.
you know what? I don't even need you to do that. I just need access to this gym so that after I'm done coaching, I can then run a financial literacy workshop." That's bartering because any other place I would need to go pay $250 an hour plus cleanup, plus deposit, plus staff just to have a venue, right? But instead I'm bartering so I can put
Mm,
money back in my pocket. So bringing it back full circle to the kids, we talk about Finlit. Personal budget is the number one thing that we focus on.
mm-hmm,
Personal budget. And it has to start with setting your short term, your midterm, and your long term goals. Regardless of where you are, you could be 14, 15 years old. The first time my dad asked me, "What do I want to be when I grow up?" It was after the eighth grade. And I didn't know. And we had just finished a championship game. And I told him I figured it out. I want
mm-hmm,
to play professional basketball. He said, "Well, if that's what you want to do, baby, you better be intentional and get to work." So I asked
mm.
my coach for a key to the gym. Both my coaches, I asked for a key to the gym. And then I grew up on Gateway in the Crest in Vallejo. So I used to practice right there at the park on Gateway, right?
Shout out, Crest. Shout out, Crest.
Come on
Crest
now.
Siders. My wife is
Come
a
on,
Crest
man.
Sider. What's up? What's up?
Hey, 707, say it backwards. It ain't gonna ever change.
They never go change.
Ever.
Sis, let me, because I think it's so important because of what you said when we start talking about the historical reference and
Mm,
when we start talking about becoming aware of the bag and how do we get it and how do we want to go get it. But
yep.
if we don't have the understanding of how to get it, right? So
Right.
what you touched on about your moms and the jobs and coming home, one of the things, young folks, that I try to tell folks is this all the time, and sometimes it takes us at different parts of our lives as we evolve to see some certain things.
Right.
Money is always forefront. Whether it doesn't matter if you got the bag or you don't get the
Mm,
bag, money is always forefront because we are surviving in the world under capitalism, right?
facts.
So the one thing that hit me, and I'll never forget this, is I think I was about 10 years old. I was sitting on the couch in East Oakland with my mom, and
Mm,
she had bought us a house. I didn't even understand the whole concept. You know what I'm saying? But she had come home from work. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this, how old I am. She had on those shoes the doctors used to wear. They was either white or
the white
tan.
ones, the one, yep.
And she had the that little metal piece that ties around your bread that keeps the bread
Mm-hmm.
closed, that little
Mm-hmm.
metal piece.
The little
She
wire
had that.
thing.
Yes, she had that as shoestring. And so
Mm.
I'm sitting there and I say, "Mom, I say, why you got like bread ties for your shoestrings?" And she looked at me. She said, "You want to eat, don't you?"
Mm, come
Something
on.
hit me right then and there. I promise you. I was like, you know what? I ain't never going. My kids ain't never gonna go without shoestrings. It's just, now
Right.
I don't know what that's petty in me, but I'm like, whatever it takes in me, my kids will never have to go without shoestrings because my mom was leaving to go clean houses, white folks' houses in the Oakland Hills. You know
Hmm.
what I'm talking about up there
I know
above Golf
exactly what you're
Links
talking
Road.
about.
You know
Well,
what I'm
hey,
saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about because I sit in the middle. I ain't on the
See?
flats, but I for sure ain't in the hills. I'm literally on that guard in the middle.
And so I'm so proud of what you're doing because now you fill that void because I didn't know how to go get the bag. I
Mm,
mean, I
mm.
wanted it, but I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So we have a question in the chat,
Yep.
and I don't want to derail you, but I do want to.
You good.
It says, "What advice would you give to someone that is doing a lot, but doesn't feel like they're doing enough?" I mean, that's
Mm,
right. We got young cats out there. They think they hustling or they think they getting it,
right.
but it just ain't working. The ones and the twos ain't making three. Like
Mm.
how do we change that, sis, to help them to know like if you got one, how do we make that 1 + 1 equal 2?
I love that question because it resonates with me so much. How are we doing so much but feel like we not doing enough? And
Ain't
that's
that
because
something?
we all doing something in a different direction. We got a coalition build, y'all. We got to come into community. Like people got gifts, people got talents, people got clear vision. But then sometimes we're so much in competition with the person that's next to us. And instead of locking arms, we stiff arming like the Heisman. And then we realize that we both off track and ain't nobody going nowhere, right?
Say
So it's
that.
like, can I get in a think tank with you? Can I get in a collaborative space with you? Can I figure out what your strengths are? So then that way you work in yours, I work in mine, and then we run light speed to where we going. You see what I'm saying? That's how we get over feeling like we're doing so much, but not enough. Because if
Mm,
you divide the responsibility, you can now leverage time and talent. For instance, if you're a business owner, you're not running your business all day, every day. You have staff, you have help, you have backbone, you have some leverage, right? Which is why you
mm,
could put different people on the schedule at a different time. So if I
mm,
go find Smith, if I go find Troy, if I go find Wanda, if I go find all of these people that's super talented in what they do, and I say, hey, Smith, I'm gonna teach the Finland, but I need you to record it and get it out to the people. Hey, and when you get it out to the people, Troy, I need you to book the venue so that we could do this live. And when we do this live, I need all of us to get our constituencies together and tell 25 to 50 people each to show up. And when they
mm,
show up, I need them to be committed to bringing 2 to 3 people with them. Now we got a room of 300 people, all because us four sat down in a coalition and decided what we were going to do intentionally, right? So when
mm,
it
mm,
comes to
mm.
your money, it has to be that way. It has to be
So
that way.
what you're saying is in the personal finance progress towards the bag may require teamwork.
It has to require teamwork, Smith.
Mm,
If
mm,
we are
mm,
so
mm,
ego driven to where we like, I don't want to share with nobody because they're gonna steal my idea, or I don't want to open it up because what if they do it before I do, or what if somebody think it was theirs and not mine,
mm.
or what if I get used? So what? Don't you want to be used for the betterment of community? Like
Come on, man.
have a spirit of discernment to where people ain't draining you, but don't you want to be used?
Let's go back to the beginning when
Hmm.
you spoke about you're born with an inherent barter trait. Remember, you
Mm,
said that,
I
right?
said it.
So if that's the case, and we get into community, and I'm the individual chasing the bag, I have a barter in me that I got to connect with somebody else because what I do, somebody else don't do well. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So hey, look, so the energy you got going on right now is phenomenal. Um,
Thank
let's understand this. Let's understand this. We talk about our barter, our inherent trait, our gift that we have,
you.
that you
Mhm,
have, that you're
mhm.
sharing. We all have that.
Yes.
Now, how do we budget that? How do we
Mhm.
budget what we inherently have into the real world of finances to create
Mhm.
that budget. Come
Mhm.
on. Come
So
on.
when we budget what we have, so I also said that I try to stand at the intersection of all my gifts, right? So I utilize my gifts to bring the energy in the form of money, if that makes
Mhm.
sense, because all money
Mhm.
is great energy coming your way. So I utilize my gifts, meaning I'm a financial advisor by day. That's what I do. I got accepted to med school, Smith, but I didn't go because guess what? I didn't have the money. So I became a financial advisor instead, and here I am a decade later. So I
Everything
teach
is for a reason.
for a reason, baby. I teach
Yep.
financial literacy in the daytime to the kids, even though I'm financial advisors for adults, right? And then when it comes to my city, at the city level, I'm on the budget advisory commission. That's volunteer work, but it allows me to increase my value in the marketplace because I'm using my corporate connection to serve community. And in that bridge, there's people that's looking over the bridge like, oh, she willing to volunteer time. Oh,
Mm.
that's the gift and talent. Oh, she not
Mm.
chasing me for an opportunity. She just working in whatever it is that she has. Oh, maybe she not out to just worry about self. Oh, she
Mm.
cares about the people. She'll do this workshop and not charge us a ticket price for the first one. She don't even ask if we have a budget for the first or the second one. She's willing to do a 3-part workshop. Okay, you know what? She's actually really good at what she does. We sat in and we like it. So for me, I take my talents and I offer them. Here's the key part though. I offer them without expecting anything in
Mhm.
return.
Mhm.
I offer
Mhm.
them without expecting anything in return because by the time I offer them and someone is able to witness, they then go speak about what they witnessed.
That's right.
And then somebody
Right.
else can then come back and say, can I barter with you time,
Testimony.
talent?
Testimony. Testimony.
That's how it goes. That's how this universe goes. So for me,
Yeah.
it's like when I go do a workshop in my universe, I use my licenses that I got in corporate,
Mhm.
but I use my connectivity that I've built in community. And I
Right.
say, hey, I have this gift that I want to give is financial literacy. They say, okay. Now, most times they'll say, how much you gonna charge us? I say,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna charge you. What I need to do is give this information. And if I put a price tag on it, you probably gonna tell me A, it's too expensive, B, I'm gonna get back to you, which means that
Mhm.
all of these people over here that was waiting to receive this information, they're never gonna get it. So
Right,
you know
right.
what? I'm not gonna charge you, but I need you to let me show up in full capacity, how I show up, and I need to be able to connect with whoever wants to connect with me afterwards. So for
Mhm.
me, I'm able to turn my time and my gifts and purpose into actual financial gain because I did it without expecting, but it still came back on the back end because somebody was like, I still need that. I
So,
need more
so,
of that.
so watch this. Listen, young folks. Listen, older folks. What you just said about budgeting in a nutshell is that sometimes you might have to sacrifice. Sometimes you might
Mm.
have to forego the upfront financial benefits to get the long-term financial
Delayed
benefit.
gratification, Smith.
Is that deferred payments? Is that deferred
Yes.
payments? It's deferred
Yes.
payments. So
Man.
so let me share this story, young folks, if you don't know, and even older folks may not know this. When we talk about deferred payments, when we talk about long-term financial sustainability, generational wealth, back in the early 80s, maybe late 70s, Lee Iacocca, you might not know
Nope.
who this man is, but Lee Iacocca, white guy, took over Chrysler. Chrysler said, hey, Lee, come turn our business around. Lee said, look here, if I come, I don't want no salary. I just
Mm.
want 1%. I want 1% of our profits going forward.
Come
And they was
on.
like, what? Are you serious that we don't have to pay you? He knew the benefits of the long term and his confidence of what he could do. His innate barter skills. He stood on business and was
Come
like,
on.
I'll tell you what, don't pay me. Just give me 1% of our
Yep.
future profits. Go look what that man turned around. Go look
I'm
what that,
telling you.
that kind of millions and generational wealth he created by sacrificing in the beginning, the front end of his budget. So, sis, yes, I love how you say that, and you know, because again, let's go intersectionality. Let's go intersectionality. I've been broke all my life. I've been poor. I want to eat now. We live, sis, you know this. We live in a society where instant oatmeal reigns supreme. I want things now. I don't have time to wait.
Right.
I don't have time to wait.
They don't want to put the butter and the brown sugar in the pot and stir it and whip it like
and
my
let it
auntie
boil
and
let it boil. You know what I'm saying?
They don't want to do it.
So with that being said, and we understand that because we have identified that the instant oatmeal era is a real thing. Out of your expertise, your wisdom, your subject matter understanding, I want to narrow it down because I know the book says 100 to 1,000,000.
Yep.
But if you got 10, how do you make 10, 20?
Ooh, you make 10, 20 because you have to think about quantity, quality, access. You have to think about scale. You have to think about demand. So if I had $10, the way that I look at it is like this. Everything has a supply and demand chain, right? Even down to Temu, even down to Amazon, even down to your community store. There's a supply chain before that product or that item got to where it got to.
Right.
So how can you, with your $10, get as close to the beginning of the supply chain as possible? When you get to the beginning of the supply chain, you now become the person that gets to eat all the profit in between till it gets sold to the last person, right? So if I got $10 and I'm a kid at school, and I know for a fact kids are always complaining about the teacher sharpeners not working, I'm about to go on Temu. Yes. I'm gonna find those little tiny sharpeners, and I'm gonna get them for 10 cents a piece. And with my $10, I can buy 100 of them. If I sold them for 50 cents, I can make $50. And if I sold them for $1, I just turn my $10 into 100. Kids will pay $1 for a sharpener that they can use day after day after day. It's reusable. It's not a one-time use. What if that kid decided, you know what? I've gotten my use. I'm going to now go undercut the competition and resell mine for 50 cents. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different ways this could go. But what is it that the people around you genuinely need? And how can you provide it?
Now that, sis, I'm telling you, we telepathy. I don't, you know, my word. Listen, but you know, that is phenomenal. Young hustlers out there, young entrepreneurs that want to be. Listen to your boy when I tell you, I'm old right now, but I was a hustler when I was younger. On my way to Stonehurst Elementary, in the late 70s and the early 80s. Yeah, you know, I did some things because Granny Goose was right next to my elementary school. So I'd grab a few bags and then I go into the schoolhouse and I take a whole pack of now laters. Back then, now laters came in 7, a pack of 7. I break that thing open and sell an individual now later for 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? So now I want to talk about what you just said about the sharpeners, because when we talk about the organic nature of who we are and why we're doing this, everything is for a reason. We are talking about financial literacy and understanding your position and how to fill a gap that's needed. If the sharpener's not working in your school, like sis said, go buy the little sharpener for 10 cents, maybe 5 cents if you buy it in bulk off of Temu. This is what your boy did. I was in 5th grade. Don't even know how it all came about, but I took a number 2 pencil. I shaved off the yellow paint. I wrote my name on it. One of my classmates seen it and was like, Smith, can you do that for me? What? Oh, that's going to cost you 10 cents, bro.
I love it.
On my mama's soul, I promise you, the easiest entrepreneurial thing I've ever done in my life. It was just, I don't even know why I did it. And then it turned out a whole class wanted. Now I'm $1 in the come up.
Yes.
On a pencil.
Repurposing a pencil.
Repurposing the pencil. Now, young folks, when we start talking about
Mm,
refurbishing and playing your position, you take that sharpener, you take that pencil, right? And then you personalize it. My boy
yes.
Mars is watching right now. Mars, shout out to Mars. Mars is a phenomenal, phenomenal creative mind. His
Mm,
paintings, his drawings are next level. You know what I'm saying? What you do is you personalize, you take that pencil, that sharpener, and you paint your own graffiti on it. You paint
yes.
other people what they want. They want their mom's name on there. You paint it. You know what I'm saying? And then you give it to them for free. Why, sis? We
Because they
sacrificed the
don't
budget.
come
They
back.
gonna come back. They
Yes.
gonna come back. That is the rules of the game. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes.
so thank you for saying that. How do we plan? You talked about budget, right? And
Mm-hmm.
starting it and finding your position of your inherent barter skills, right? But then
Yep.
how do we plan? You talked about
Mm.
earlier,
Yep.
not taking each second for granted. How
Yep.
do we plan? How do we plan for that?
Yeah, we plan through intentionality, and we plan by not only setting our goals, but by setting the pathway to get to the goal. Meaning, when I sit down with somebody, regardless of how old they are, we gonna analyze where you are. We call that
Mm,
in fancy terms a financial needs analysis or an F&A, right? But really, it's a roadmap. So if everybody can say roadmap, I need a roadmap to the bag. That's what it
yes,
is. Okay.
yes,
So your
yes.
financial needs analysis, your F&A, your roadmap to the bag is going to talk to you about where you are now. Saving habits, spending habits, what your full budget is. Do you spend on groceries? Do you go out to eat? Are you buying new clothes every other month, even though you don't really need them? Could we be cooking and prepping for the week rather than going out to eat 4 or 5 times? Could we buy a used car instead of having a brand new car with a $450 insurance and a $450 car note? Could we, put a plan together to buy a multi-unit property or maybe a plot of land rather than our first purchase being our primary home that we don't make any investment income off of? Can we put these things in a plan? So when we sit down and do the F&A, it's so that I can say, hey, Smith, I love what you do for work right now. I love that you're saving through your job. But what I realize is that you don't have any tax free retirement savings for the future. Let's talk about that. Hey, Smith, I love what you're doing. I love that you want your kids to go to college. I know you haven't quite figured out how to yet. Let me show you where that extra savings can come from. There's free money here with the state, and it's called calkids.org. So if you
Calkids.org.
calkids.org. And if you live in Oakland, Oakland Promise will give you another batch of free money for your student. And here's a plug: call their front office, ask for the SSID number, which is the state student ID number. $2 billion worth of funds came available in 2022 for all newborns to high school graduates. And if they graduated that year during that time, it's still available for them until they're 26. So even if they are freshman or a
Gang,
sophomore in college right now, call a
gang,
high school front office, get the SSID number, and claim that money because it's minimum $500. That's a couple books at least. So
gang.
back to what I was saying. When you do the F&A, right? You got to go
Yes.
through all of these areas. So we gonna map out how much you make every month. Is it tax free? Is it tax deferred? What are you doing? Are you salary? Are you hourly? Are you 1099? Because that affects how much money you bring into your household.
Mm, mm.
Net and gross are two different things. Gross is just gross sometimes, right? Because you get
Mm-hmm.
excited, but then about time you net it all and you pull it up, you're like, dang, where the rest go? So it's kind of one of those things where you don't feel like you got it all. So
Right.
when we sit and we talk, I'm gonna ask you about your goals and your dreams. And then we're gonna say, okay, what are you currently doing right now
Mm-hmm.
to walk in that direction? Now, if we transparent with ourselves, most of us are gonna say, you know what? Out of about 10 steps, I really take the 2 or 3 that I need to, and then the rest I need help.
Full
So it's
honesty.
the I need help part that I love because
Mm,
then I know how to use my skills to serve you.
yeah.
So if somebody tells me, you know what, I'm the breadwinner in my family, then I'm gonna talk to you about making sure your life insurance is right.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
somebody tells me, I want to buy property, I'm gonna say, okay, let's save in this short-term investment account because you're not going to buy the property tomorrow, but you're not going to buy it in 10 years. It's probably going to be within the next 2 to 10 years. So let's do some short-term investing where it's not mattress money where it's not gaining no interest, but it's also not retirement money where it's like fully invested. So let's talk about what we can do in the intermediary where you could still gain interest, but still have access. So the full premise is step one, do a FNA, financial needs analysis. Step two, let's get your foundation of protection of your assets in place. That's your life insurance. Step three, let's look at your investments. And the investments are three-pronged. So we have emergency savings because everybody at one point or another is going to quit a job, get fired, get laid off, or just be irritated, right? Like, I'm out of here. So if that happens, you got to take care of budget for the next 3 to 6 months because your family still got to eat, right? They still got to eat. So we got the emergency savings, but then we got the short-term investments. That's saving for the car, saving to buy a house, saving to go on vacations, saving to start businesses, saving to buy additional properties. That's all the next 2 to 10 years, right? And then the last category is your long-term investing, which includes your retirement as well as your legacy building. So with retirement, what most people don't understand is people say, my job got me covered. Smith, somebody ever say that? My job got me covered.
I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time,
right? Your job ain't got you covered. Let me tell you something.
Say that.
You plan to work the 40-40-40 plan. You plan to work for 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life and retire on 40% of your income. But your job trying to cut you on the 30-30-30 plan. They really only want to give you 30 hours a week because they don't want to give you benefits. You see what I'm saying? They only want to keep you for 30 years because they don't want to give you a full retirement plan.
Say that.
And then they really only want to give you less than 30% because they trying to worry about the new people that's coming in that they still got to keep going for future. So you might have plans to be there for a long time, but they might not have plans to keep you. And so with that being said, your savings got to be on point and you got to plan for the rainy day. So when we sit down and we talk about, okay, how do I get my finances in line? It's okay, turning that $10 into 100 to start.
Yes.
And then once you turn it into the 100, how do I redirect that between 3 investment accounts? Because I got 3 different sets of goals. Little do people know you can open an investment account for as little as $25. So you can add 25 into emergency, 25 into short term, 25 into your tax-free retirement account, and then 25 into your tax-deferred retirement account. Because what's going to happen is, Smith, I'm going to save as much money as I can in this 401k or 403b if I work for a nonprofit, or 457 if I'm with the city, the county, the state. And I'm going to be excited. I'm going to have like $500,000 saved. And then I get to retirement, I'm going to be like, hey, y'all, I got my papers. I'm out of here. And then that next week, I'm going to go wait for my check. And it's going to come. I'm going to be like, why did you take so much taxes from me? Not realizing that the money I was putting away was tax deferred. So I was making money every week. They was taking it out of my paycheck to go into the 401k, but I didn't realize that it wasn't being taxed yet. And I was young. I wasn't making as much money. But now that I'm retired, man, my tax bracket went up because my income went up. You know, I like to make more money. So when I start to collect this paycheck, they going to tax me more. That's why I need the Roth IRA too, because it's tax-free. That's the last thing I
free game.
With the Roth IRA, man, got to have it.
Listen. I had to shut up because what sis she just gave y'all a solid 2 minutes of free game. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get this in school. I'm telling you right now, you ain't gonna get this in school. I don't care who you are. I don't care what school you go to. Now, there might be some schools out there, focusing on this, but for the most part, this is why I do what I do, to have young sisters on here, young brothers on here that look like you, that sound like you, that's giving you this free game. Because here we are. We're in 2024. We're 60 years removed from civil rights, where we just got ourselves as Black folks involved into the world economy. This is why I do this, the world economy, not little things. We talking the world economy, where other folks had 400 years head start on being part of the economy, right? So now that we are part of the economy, we have to understand how the economy works. There's a great thing, and again, this is not a political show, but it's not. But I gotta point out the importance. This is why the reason I had Sis on here, and she's gonna be back on here again. I promise you that,
Yes,
because it's
yes.
just so much to talk about when we talk about the stability, the financial growth of our Black community. I remember clearly the first debate between Trump and Hillary Clinton,
Oh,
and she said something to the fact that, hey, you don't pay your taxes, blah blah blah, whoop de whoop. And his response, authentically, because he has the privilege of being a white property owning white man, he said, "You knew that all along, but you never said anything." See, you have to understand the game to play the game properly. We never got the full. And here's another thing, and I'm gonna share the history class.
mm,
Senator Sumner of Massachusetts was totally for abolishing slavery and
mm,
providing every Black person with equal rights and an understanding of what comes with liberty.
mm.
Well, there was a Missouri senator at the same time Abraham Lincoln was writing the Emancipation Proclamation,
Emancipation.
who
Mm-hmm.
said, "No, no, 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 no. We will give them Black folks freedom, but we ain't giving them equal rights. They're not entitled to what we know." Folks, we're in 2024, and I'm going to make
Mm.
sure that I put people in place to give you game on what you should know, and how do we change, and how do we evolve, and how do we create and sustain longevity when we
Yep,
start talking about generational wealth. So, sis, thank you for everything. We're not done yet,
absolutely.
but I just needed to say that because it
Absolutely.
was important. You talked about life insurance. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of seeing GoFundMe accounts for your loved ones that then passed away tragically, or by, stop. We now That's a whole different thing. But we if you
Mm.
let's get a trust in place. Let's get
Come
some
on.
life insurance in place. Shout out to
Come
my
on.
my Avent family. Shout out to
Mm.
my man Benny Bell. They providing life insurance. It's Black folks trying to help you sustain your legacy in the family. Um, Sis, as we roll up, we on 9:45 right now, and I
Yep.
cannot tell you how wonderful you've been sharing this free
Thank
game.
you. Thank you.
Um, and I know this is a curveball, but I know you're prepared because I know you. Um, the rule of 72.
Oh
I did not
yeah.
I did not know anything about this until maybe about 4 years ago. The
Man.
rule of 72. Take us to the promised land as we head on out and close this show up.
Mm.
You ain't gotta give me the whole thing, but at least sprinkle the people with some of the business about the rule of 72.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle
Yes,
me,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so look. The rule of 72 is like the best thing you could ever possibly know about in regards to compounding interest. It can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. It can work for you or it can work against you. So first, let me tell you how it's going to work against you. So I'm going to paint the nightmare so that the dream look better, okay?
Talk to
So
me.
so in the nightmare, you show up to college and you see all these credit card booths, or you turn 18
Mm.
and your mailbox get flooded with credit card offers, and you like $500, $1,000, $300. Right now, all I got to do is pick a pen. Okay, done.
What?
Activated, spent, maxed, right?
And I get a free frisbee?
Like a man. And then you so excited, not realizing that, there's a difference between debit and credit. And the rule of 72 says that if I'm on credit and I'm borrowing someone else's money, they have the right to charge me for that money that I borrowed. And it's called interest. And the way that the rule of 72 works is it says, hey, what interest rate did they give you? And then you say, 29.99. It was an introductory card, but I'm brand new
Ooh.
at this. And
Oh.
so me as the advisor, I tell you, okay, go ahead, pull out that calculator. So you pull out your calculator, you punch in 72 divided by 29.99, and you're going to get roughly 2.4. Do the math, Smith.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. I'm
Which
doing it right
means
now.
that, let's say you just an 18-year-old, you got that $1,000 credit card in the mail. You maxed it out, was happy for Christmas, because right now you got to go get some Christmas gifts because you only got 48 hours left, right? Because this is what
Right, right,
happened.
right, right,
So
right.
you go buy these gifts. Now you look up 2.5 years from now, and you like, wait a minute, that credit card, I only spent $1,000, but now the balance is 2,500. And that's because Rule of 72 says 72 divided by the given interest rate will tell you how long it takes for the balance to double, whether it's for you or against you. So if you got a credit card and you let that thing go for years on end, look up 5 years from now, you in the hole 5,000. Look up 10 years from now, you really in the hole. So when it comes down to it, y'all, that's working against you, but this is how it can work for you. So remember, we talked about the 3 investment accounts, right?
Yep.
Your emergency, your short term, your long term. Your long term is going to see the biggest compounding effect of this rule of 72. But when I walk into the bank, normally the tellers behind the window, they got my checking account. They give me 0.1 to 1%. And I'm not trying to talk to them. So they gonna send me over to they bankers, right? Sitting at the little tables. They
looking professional.
Oh, they got the suit and tie, like he was talking about the bow tie in the beginning, right? So you walk in and they like, come over here. We'll give you 3%. And you like, ooh, not realizing that 72 divided by 3 is still what, 24? So you still are having to wait a very long time for your money to double, right? So rather than doing that, why don't you just look at what the economy averages since the stock exchange has been the stock exchange? 9 to 12%, right? On average. So I can't promise you that that's what you're going to get tomorrow, but I think I would rather study history and know what my history says so I can at least know what my future could be. Because if I don't, I'm just continuing to hustle harder for somebody that's not even doing anything.
History repeats itself.
At the bank.
History repeats itself.
So for me, I look at rule of 72 and I say, all right, rule of 72. If I want to grow my money, if I can get a 10% interest rate just in this magical world, 72 divided by 10 is 7.2. That means that if I'm saving long term, I can have my money double approximately every 7 years, rather than the 0.01% where my money is going to double every 7,200 years.
Say that again. Please say that again.
So if you have your traditional run-of-the-mill checkings or savings account, I'm not going to call out no bank names, but you can go Google, right?
We all know. Yeah.
You going to get 0.1, 0.01, you're going to get 0.03, and depending on how much money you have sitting in a savings account, they'll give you a high yield, maybe at 1% or 2%. Even at 0.01%, 72 divided by 0.01 is 7,200. Meaning it's going to take 7,200 years for an initial investment to double. I walk $100 into the bank and I put it in that checking account. Don't hold your breath.
Hey, the average lifespan is probably 70 something years, 80 years, and you talking 7,000?
You older than Methuselah at that point.
Well, yeah, y'all on the same page. Folks, understand the game. Understand the game, the rule of 72, and how we talk about long-term sustaining generational wealth. Really quick before we shut it down here. Credit card. I got a credit card when I was 18, like sis said. It was $500. I went over to the jewelry store, bought me a gold chain, herringbone. Yes, I did. Herringbone. Had that thing. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Man, messed around, forgot the payment, didn't pay, whoopty whoop, you know what I'm saying? I think that thing went from 400 and whatever, because I maxed it out. I bought it the whole 500. I was like, man, give me the herringbone. You know what I'm saying? 24 inches herringbone. That thing ended up, I ended up going into collections. It ended up being like $3,000 or something. And then what's crazy was it got kinked up. The herringbone got kinked up. So I put it on my rear view mirror. And I had plans to change it and melt it down into gold earrings for my baby girl when she got older. And some clown bit me in Oakland and took the herringbone, and I was out $3,000. Long story short.
Sounds about right.
Don't fall victim to the credit card scam, young people. The other part, really quick, as we close up, the banks. I did my own research. It costs about 100 million to start a bank. 100 million. There's a great black-owned bank, United One. I got my money in there. Um, Stop going to Wells Fargo. Stop going to Bank of America. Go to some black-owned businesses, banking, financial institutions. Our money needs to stay in our pocket and do the
Yes.
things that we need to do to benefit our community and our people. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep getting housing loans at these enormous amounts of interest rates. And if we are, because banking is banking and business is business, at least put it in black folks' hands so the money stays here. So if I'm going to get a housing loan, don't go to Wells Fargo, don't go to Merrill Lynch. Let's
No,
do some
no.
black folks business, which goes to Sis' points earlier about community.
Yes.
If I really have some intentions in my mind, if I can gather up 100 black men with
Mhm.
$1,000, I'm looking at 100,000 somewhere around there. I mean, I don't really know. I don't do math that
Yep,
great,
yep, yep, yep.
but I would love for us to focus on that money on reinvesting in our own community, whether that's buying a block, whether that's buying a hospital
Mm.
building, whether that's buying a financial building. But it takes community. We can't do it by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I have a
Mm.
thousand and 100 other brothers have 1,000, then we got a lot of energy, potential energy.
Yeah,
That's physics right there, potential energy.
yeah.
Before we close this, because I think it's important, can you really just, I know it's hard, but in the matter of a minute, can you sum up the stock exchange? Because you talked about that, about the rule of 72 and making sure our money comes
Absolutely.
back. And if we're paying attention to the stock exchange,
Yep.
like what is that? How does that affect my money, the stock exchange?
Well, the stock exchange is a big old game, y'all, and it's a game that you can't predict. There is no timing the market. You literally can just only have time in the market, meaning that I don't want you to look at stocks and be like, ooh, because these are so low right now, let me go ahead and buy them. No, just pick a moment that you gonna say, okay, this is the time when I'm gonna start investing, and that be your day one. And from day one, you never have another day one. Every other day is progression after that, okay? But the stock exchange is a collection of all public companies in our economy. And when I say public, I mean you can own a portion of that company. I can own a portion of that company. For instance, Apple. Everybody got cell phones, right? How often do you use this phone? Every single day. But do you own a piece of the company that you paying a bill to every single month? Why don't you own where it is you spend your money? If you
Thank you.
like Chipotle and you go there every other day for lunch, do you own Chipotle stock? Because let me tell you how this works. When someone buys into a company, meaning I go buy a burrito, I go buy a new iPhone 16 for $1,500, that company makes a profit. When they make a profit, they report it at the end of the quarter on their balance sheets. When they report it, they now get to kick out what's called a dividend, right? That dividend goes to the stockholders as interest, as money. It gets credited to their account because they bought into the company, meaning that, yeah, I bought the burrito, but I bought a piece of ownership too. So some people look and they say, oh, well, I can't buy Apple stock. It's too expensive. You could buy a fraction of a share through a
Yes.
mutual fund. You don't have to buy a full share. So if you go look at Microsoft, Apple, Nike, something, and you like it's $1,000 a share, all I got is $100. Cool, baby. Let's buy a tenth of a share because this is how you're gonna get to the bag. Because when that tenth of a share starts to grow, now maybe it accumulates an interest to where you have enough to go get a full share because the interest that they've given you either quarterly, which is every 3 months, semi-annually every 6 months or every year, and sometimes you even get interest every single month, y'all. There's
So
money market accounts right now that'll give it to you every month. What you got, Smith?
no, 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 again,
I get
again.
fired up, man.
No, this is fire. Listen again, because everything you say falls in line. Because if you're talking that Apple, let's just say, is running at 421, I think
Uh-huh.
either them or Tesla are running at 421. But you only got 100. If we go back to the beginning about community and teamwork, go get one of your player partners.
Come
Okay,
on.
y'all got 100. Now y'all got 400. Now y'all got 500. Now y'all all go in and
Mm.
buy that one share of Apple or Tesla or whoever.
Why
So,
not?
again, I got some. I got 1.2 shares of Ford. They're
Come
going
on.
at $9 right now.
Come
I
on.
got 1.1 shares of SoFi. They going at $15 right now.
Okay.
Um, I got one share of CIN. They're only at a penny. I got another one, half a share in another one. I got a 1/10 of a share in Siri. Siri is moving at $23 an hour or $23 right now. But my
Mm.
most important one is Elab. Um, I got 6 shares of Elab. Elab is a very small company. They produce pharmaceuticals. They produce the dietary pills and the high blood pressure pills that a lot of black people make or take. And to your point, and I've been saying this for the
Come
longest
on.
time, if we gonna take this and we gonna be part, we might as well get paid for playing the game. So
Yep.
if you got some Nikes, if you rock, go get some
Come
Nike,
on, man.
go get some Nike shares. You know what I'm saying? If you got a house loan through through SoFi, if you got a house loan through Mutual, go get some of these shares. Pay yourself. And it may not be a lot, but
There
I
it
mean,
is.
damn. If my mortgage is 3,000 and I'm invested into this company where my mortgage is being paid to and I can get $50, that's better than 3,000. And I'm paying 29,950 or whatever. You know what
You
I'm
just
saying?
got a discount on your mortgage. See, that's the thing. People don't want to be couponers. They don't want to be like they don't want
Man,
to be
look,
bargain shoppers. Like that's the first rack I go to when I go to a store. I'm a bargain shopper. How can I get a discount? And you don't get
talk
what
to
you
me.
don't ask for.
Talk to me. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta
So
ask
no,
for the discount.
sis,
Man.
I what my live shows ain't never took it to 959, but this is phenomenal. I cannot thank you
Hmm.
enough for sharing this game.
Hmm. My
Um,
pleasure.
Going forward, young people, older people who's listening, I'm gonna have sis on again. I am not gonna promise you she gave out the free game that she gave today. I might charge all. This might be pay per view from now on. No, I'm playing.
Come on.
I ain't never gonna charge
The
nobody. You know what I'm
pay-per-view.
saying? But when we have financial discussions and we talk longevity and we talk generational sustainability, and passing it on, these are just some of the things we got to know. So,
Yep.
sis, I just want to thank you. I
Mhm.
value, I appreciate
Thank
you. You know, as a young black woman, it is
thank you.
so important that other young black women see you and they
Mm.
hear you, because there's no way we can deconstruct this man-made image of the welfare queen if we don't
Oh.
understand the financial part of the game that we're playing. Young sisters out there, if you're
Mhm.
listening to me, and I know you are, and if you're an older person and you know a young person in your life, young sister, girl, you know, the game is not to get on welfare. Let me just say that
Right.
again. The game is not to get on welfare. That's not the game. It sounds easy. It's low hanging fruit. That's what they want
Mhm.
from you. This is
Right.
not politics. This is just real life and me trying to uplift my community. You know what I'm saying? I need you to see this young girl that's on your screen right now.
Mm.
She looks like you. She sounds like you. She is you.
Mm.
She ain't no better than you. I ain't no better than you. We
Nope.
both from the town. We both been through it. We had different ages and different times.
Yep.
But I want to tell you, if we can do it, you can do it. You are worthy, you are capable, you are more than what they think of you. Let me say that
Mm.
again. You are more than what they think of you. I was talking to a young girl, she was part of the group I was talking to. This I'm about to shut up after this, and we're gonna shut it down. But I know, sis, I'm gonna let you have some closing words. But I was
Yes,
talking to
sir.
the young, and I said, was there ever a time, this was in juvenile hall, I said, was there ever a time any one of you, there was about 25 kids in there, did you ever feel welcome like you belonged in school?
Mm.
4 of them raised their hand and said no. There's where it begins, folks. If
Mm.
our children don't feel welcome in the educational institution, then they're never going to understand or learn or comprehend or get the education that they need to
Facts.
change and deconstruct this capitalistic system that is designed to keep us oppressed. That's my Black Panther spill. Sis,
Hmm.
closing words, say what you got to say to the people.
Well, in closing, what I would say is I just want to leave you with a nugget to go look up. Just go look up the World Economic Forum and go look at who's running it and go look at the level of privilege that's being created in this world for people who do not look like us. And then I want you to come back and ask yourself, how can you help us create Black privilege? That's it. How can you help us create Black privilege? Because there's white privilege everywhere in the world. And it starts at the very, very top at the World Economic Forum and the vision that they set for the whole world. So whereas you think you got a vision for your community, that's cool and it's cute. But how can you create privilege and how can you create momentum so that people that look like us, talk like us, come from where we come from, genuinely feel and know that we got pushback when we get together? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I got. Like, how do we create how do we create that? And how do we stand on a solid financial foundation together, not in spite of one another? That's what I'm doing. We got to come back and do a part 2, Smith, because I got a
We
lot
got
I
it.
want to share with the people,
Say
man. I
less.
love y'all.
Say
I love
less.
y'all.
Say, listen.
Ooh, this was powerful time, Smith.
No. Look here. I cannot again extend my gratitude to you for what you just did. Now, I want to say this. It's live. I know everybody doing their thing this morning, you know, whether it's going to the institution, whether it's, you know, partaking in your festivities or whatever it is you do. But when you circle back and you see this, I want to say, first of all, sis, Stefisha, I love you.
I
I
love you.
I appreciate you and I value you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you ever need from me, you know, you got the bat line. Tap in, man. It's nothing.
I
Like
will.
on
I know.
life, it's nothing. And with that, folks, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's been phenomenal. This energy has been incredible. If you can't catch us live, it is still on my channel. Go check out the channel, Smith the Speaker. Um, I was in my mind, I'm sitting here trying to be mindful and I'm trying to be present in the moment. And I don't want to make this about me, but damn, I just blew y'all minds off with this shit. I know y'all
Tell him,
wasn't expecting
Smith.
this. I know y'all
Say it
wasn't expecting it.
again.
Well, I just blew y'all minds off because you know what? Y'all see me and you just hear me and what I do. And you see me drinking my beer and minding my business. And I might be talking a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But what you don't understand is I do shit for purpose. I do shit for purpose. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't get past my exterior, then you missing the purpose and you ain't about this cause and you ain't about this real life. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me by how I look and how I sound. Just understand and take the gifts I'm giving you. You know what I'm saying? Just take the gifts I'm giving you for what they are, because this is what I'm trying to do. I could sit here and go Black Panther, but I'm not. Beautiful people, you know I love you. Go out and enjoy your family. Do what you got to do. Tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? You know how to find me. Share this replay. Go do what you got to do. Make that money. Go get that bag. Make sure you understand what's in the bag and how you're going to secure the bag and the longevity part of the bag. Sis, I love you. Till next time, Black folks, have a conversation with somebody that don't look like you, that don't sound like you. And if you shut up and listen, you just might learn something. Black people, I love you.